Today's lesson is dividing by halving. Halving means taking something, splitting it into two equal parts. For example, I have this piece of paper and I want to split it into two equal parts, so I'm going to fold it down the middle. Okay, I'm going to fold it down the middle. Usually I would cut this to show you now it's two equal parts, but for now I'm just going to use this marker and show where the line is where I split it in half. So that's the line right there. So I got this piece, I got this piece. So one piece of paper, split it into half. I got two papers. Now I'm going to split these two papers. Now we have two separate papers. We have this side and we have this side. We're going to split it into, we're going to do that into half as well. So this is the half. So I got one paper here and one paper here. I'm going to do it. I'm going to split it into half. So I'm going to cut it this way. And you're going to see that there's a line right here. Again, I'm going to use my marker to show you where that line is. So the line goes all the way from here to here. So we started off with one piece, one full piece. We split it into two pieces. We had two pieces, 1 and 2. And now those two pieces, we split them into half again. And now we have 4 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if we have these 4 pieces and I want to split them again into half, so we got 4 pieces. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. I'm going to split those pieces into half. So I'm going to split it. So I'm going to cut right down here. And these are now the sizes of the pieces that we have. Again, I'm going to open it up. Usually I would cut it with the scissors and show you that we have 8, we'll find out how many equal pieces we have. But now I'm just going to be using a marker. So I'm going to open all this up, find where the lines are. I see that I have a line right there where I folded it. So I'm going to do it right there. And then now I have another line down here. Now I'm going to count how many equal pieces do I have. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So again, we started with one full piece, split it into half. We ended up with 2 pieces, split those 2 pieces into half. We ended up with 4 pieces, and we split those 4 pieces into half. We ended up with 8 pieces. Going to be giving, let's use the example that they have on the book over here on page 302 for dividing by half in this Nelson book. We have 8 vans that are taking 52 students to a Pioneer Village museum. How many students are going to be going in each van? Now, typically, if we have 56 students and we have 8 vans, we would go ahead and figure out the answer by this division way. So you go 56 divided by 8 and you would find the answer. But now we're going to be using the dividing by half strategy. So we're going to start with the 56. So we're going to start with the big number that we have and we're going to half it to find out the answer of how many students will be going in each van. So what is the half of 56? So if we have 56, the answer is 28. Again, we're going to split it into 2 different groups because 28 plus 28 equals 56, or 28 times 2 equals 56. So we got 56, the bigger number. We split these 56 students into 2 groups, and we have 28 students in each group. Again, we want to have 8 groups of students because we have 8 buses. So we need to fill up 8 buses. So splitting 56 into 2 wasn't enough. So now we're going to go ahead, and now we have 2 groups, 28 in each group. We're going to go ahead and split this group into half. What is half of 28? 14. So 14 plus 14 equals 28, or 14 times 2 is equal to 28. So now I have 2 groups that came out of this 28, and if I half of this 28 would be again 14 and 14. So if I have 28, I will have 2 more groups of 14. So how many groups do I have altogether? Was that good enough? Well, let's find out. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 groups. That's not enough. We still have to divide this group up because we still have to remember that we have 8 vans. Okay, so let's half 14. What's half 14? 7. So 7 plus 7 equals 14, or 7 times 2 equals 14. 7 plus 7 equals 14. We're going to take these 14 groups of this group of 14, we're going to half them. So we're going to have 7 and 7. I'm going to take this group of 14 and half them, and now we have 7 and 7. Let's see how many groups we have now. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we ended up with the 8 groups that we want because we have 8 vans. So if I split the group of 56 students into 8 different vans, I'm going to end up with 7 students in each van. Again, this is called the halving strategy. So I start with a bigger number, I half it, and then I keep on halving until I get to the number that I want. Let's give another example over here about halving. I'm going to use the example of 52 cards. So I got 52, and I want to divide 52 cards with 4 people. What is the answer? So now I'm going to use the halving strategy, but I'm not going to be using this one, dividing each one slowly by 2 until we get the answer. I'm going to half the bigger number, and I'm going to half the smaller number to see what the answer is, if it'd be easier. So if you tell me right now, what is 52 divided by 4, I'm going to have to think about it. It is going to take me a while to figure out the answer. But if I give you any number and I tell you, give me half of that number, it should be easy for you. So if I say, what's a half of 100? You're going to say 50. What's a half to 50? You're going to say 25. What's a half of 500? You're going to say 250. It's always easy for us to use to get the answer of half of the number of what we have. Unless we're dealing with odd numbers, then we're going to have decimals, but we're not going to worry about that. We're just strictly going to be dealing with even numbers in order for us to get the answer of half. So what is half of 52? Half of 52, I'm going to be using my math skills. 50 divided, half of 50 is 25. Half of 52, we're going to be adding 1, so 26. So half of 52 is 26. Half of 4, pretty simple, is 2. Now, do I know what half 2 divided by 2 means? You're finding the half of a number. What is half of 26? Half of 26 is 13. So 26 divided by 2 equals 13. That means 52 divided by 4 equals 13. Now let's deal with a bigger number. Let me think of a bigger number that we could use as an example. Let's go with 100 divided by 4. What is the answer of 100 divided by 4? Again, splitting 100 into 4 different groups might be a little bit complicated for me, so I'm going to half the 100. What is half 100? Automatically 50. What is half of 4? That is 2. Now let's divide 50 divided by 2. 50 divided by 2 equals 25, which tells us that 100 divided by 4 equals 25 as well. Let me think of a number that we could divide by 8 in order to get the answer for that number. So up top, we did 56 divided by 8, and we figured out that the answer is 7. Now let me think of another one that we could divide by 8 to get the answer. So I'm going to go with 112 divided by 8 equals what? 112 divided by 8 equals what? I don't know. It is a little bit hard if I'm going to be using my mental math to find out the answer. So I'm going to automatically use the half strategy because this is an odd number. This is an odd number. I could half a 8, which is equal to 4. I could half 112. I'm going to be using some mental math to get that. So half 110, which is usually the easiest way for me to find it out. Half 110 is 55, and we're just adding 2 more. That means we gotta add 1 down here, so it would be 56. So 56 divided by 4 equals what? Again, this one is a little bit hard for me to come up with the answer because we're dividing into 4 different groups. So now I could continue halving this number if I'm capable, which in this case I am. 56 divided by 4 equals what? 56, if I half of 56, that would be 28. If I half of 4, that would be 2. Now what is 28 divided by 2 equals 2? What's half of 28? Half of 28 is 14. If half of 28 is 14, that means 56 divided by 4 is equals to 14. That means 112 divided by 8 equals 14.